All right, Shalom. This the brother Kaya from GMS New Orleans coming back at you with another lesson. As you can see on the screen, all right, nature will eventually take its course. All right. But prior to getting started, before I always do, like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rikakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to the optics that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. And what I want to get into in this lesson is pretty much the physics of nature, which I'm going to hone in on that word and bring some precepts out to pretty much mimic, the title to the lesson and show how the spirit is going to translate to the physical, all right? Which something being physical by default or whatever is what? Is of the flesh, right? Is of nature, right? But the spirit has to overwhelm the flesh in such way, but they're gonna meet each other, And I'm gonna get into a few precepts describing the characteristics of the natural way or the natural man, so we can have a more thorough understanding on how the Lord is gonna meet the two, okay, or enjoin the two together, which through the spirit. I had the lesson set up for yesterday, but a couple things happened. But Lord willing, I'll be able to do that, man. All right. So again, as you see in the opening title, it says eventually nature will take its course, because right now nature is out of its course. Now, when you get into nature, all right, by default, you have the root word in natural is nature. All right. So when you do look into nature, or the things the Lord set in place, okay, he's like, man, that's just nature. We say that term loosely, all right, but there's a much greater spiritual meaning to it, and Lord willing, not to get into it and expound on it, that it be edifying to the listeners, okay. All right, it says, you know what? I'm gonna start off with that word nature, okay. It says, in the online etymology, it has restorative powers of the body. All right. Now we know the body is in the flesh, or what? Of the earth. Okay. And that's why you have Paul. Okay, give me 1 Corinthians, brother. 15 and 46. Bible Kashan. All right. It says restorative powers of the body are bodily processes. All right. Because the Lord is going to be a process in which our body is transformed and restored, okay? Because this is how we know the spirit is going to enjoin with the body and go and send the body through the process. It needs to be what? Bound to the spirit. You see that? All right. And as you can see on the ticker at the bottom of it showing, it says this is the way the Lord designed it to be, okay? Because it's also in his will, all right? And he wrote it, all right, and the scriptures are not broken, okay? Because I'm going to bring it out in his will as well, because we do hone in on the spiritual, but remember the Lord made the natural, okay, in such a way that it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do, okay? If we're going to be in the spirit or of the spirit in the natural, then the natural have to have a prominent role on things. That's why in so many ways we don't just neglect or shoot past the natural. Now do this, he's just honing in on the natural, but it's all about the spirit. Well, Paul didn't say that, okay? Which we are a firm believer that Paul is a man of the Lord, and Paul was letting you know, all right, the process or the nature in which we have to adhere to what we have to basically be under the constitution of, all right, until the merging be. Give me that.
1 Corinthians 15 and 40, verse 46.
Yep.
Howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural.
Right. So why Paul said, howbeit that which is first spiritual, read it again, Salaki.
Howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural.
Right. So let's get the understanding of that. He says, howbeit is not that which is first spiritual, but that which is natural. Because here, Paul was honing in directly on the natural, or the what? The way of nature. Get that? All right. Which I'm reading, I got it in nature. So it says nature, it says the restorative powers of the body, bodily processes. So there's a what? A process that the what? The body need to go into to be back in its course of nature, which the world is a process in which the world is going to be back in its course of nature. And I'll get into that down the line, Lord will. It says the powers of growth. So the nature grows into the spirit, and then the spirit what rules over that which is nature. It says from the old French, nature being the principle of life. Now that which is the principle of life, Paul is describing that it's not that which is first spiritual, but now what? That which is first natural, because the Lord gonna move the spiritual to the natural. All right, and you can't get past that. You can't go past the natural or the nature of things just and jump to the spirit. It's impossible, man. Jacob said, oh, I'm just in the spirit. I just won't get in the spirit. But you gotta at least give homage or pay heed to some kind of where the natural things in order to reach the boundaries of the spirit. All right. And this is why Paul is explaining it that way. Hold on, let me get to it. Right. That's where you at? 1 Corinthians 15, right?
Yeah, 46.
15 and 46. All right. It says, but keep going.
Verse 47.
No. You ain't read. Finish off.
And afterward, I'll just read it over. Howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural. And afterward, that which is spiritual.
And why Paul pointing out afterwards that is which is spiritual? Because technically, the spirit is already the spirit don't need to go through a process, obviously, right? So by the spirit not needing to go through a process, all right, is in its natural form already. Okay, so again, it says nature being the principle of life, the character or the essence. So it's the course of things. So nature have to what? Take its course. As I read in as the opening monologue said, you see on the title of the lesson, eventually nature will take its course. All right. And that's how, again, that's how we're going to be able to prove that the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth in this nature. You see that? It says the course of things, natural character, constitution, the quality. All right. The constitution, which goes into the body, which ultimately the body is always in the flesh, okay? Because it's made of the earth. It's made after the natural man, all right? It says literally birth. So for something to be natural or in nature, it has a birth to it, which a birth, when it happens, it has a process. So once it's birthed and born, it goes through a process. The spirit, when it was created, it didn't need to process itself anymore. It was already there. That's why now, because we're in the nature or in the flesh, we have to mind that first in order to what? Reap the whole fruits of the spirit. All right. It says to beget, all right, which is the beginning. It says the forces of processes of the material world. All right. The forces of processes of the material world. Okay. The things of material. All right, which the flesh, the spirit supersedes that. All right, because only in the nature of the natural or the flesh, we're going to have the materials of things. All right, the flesh don't need that, as it says the spirit doesn't need it. All right, it said it doesn't need to eat. You see, it doesn't need the material things. Okay, it says that which produces living things and maintains order. All right, so the natural or the nature of ways is going to be the things that maintains the order, which we're going to carry all the orders of the law and all the different things on earth in the natural or in the natural in the natural way or the nature of things. So all the nature of things is going to go through the flesh. All right. Even though we're going to be totally dominated by the spirit, everything has to happen through the flesh. Give me, before you just stay right there, just jump, give me Matthew 6 and 10. All right. Because we have to put on the natural man, which Paul is explaining this through 1 Corinthians 15. All right. Give me Matthew 6 and 10.
Matthew 6 and 10. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Right. So it says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Why the Lord had to expound on his will being done on earth? All right. Because his will is always was the natural way of things, man. So now he's saying, look, it's going to be done on earth, because that's where the process of his will has to take place. Because in the spirit, his will is done already. All right. It's already completed. Okay. But they have to go through the process of the nature of it. What? On earth. All right. Let me see what this says. In the NLT. May your kingdom come soon. May your will be done on earth and heaven. It's all good. All right. Let's see what they got right there. I want to see something real quick. Yeah, this word earth right here is God, which is different. It says
Strong's G 1093. Gay.
Yep.
Gay.
Right. Which we dealing again this whole lesson. And keep in mind, we try to keep on honing this in, that you gotta, it's gonna be a nature or a natural way of things, and that's what we're in the transformation period of. Okay, because this is also it's the will of the Lord. Okay, which the will of the Lord again is more to it that it be what basically brought to the nature of the way. Because again, in the spirit is already completed. It says the arable land, the ground, the earth as a standing place. It's the main land as opposed to the sea or water, the earth as a whole. The earth as opposed to the heavens. The inhabited earth, the abode of men and animals, a country, land enclosed with fixed boundary, a tract of land, a territorial region, which the reason why the Lord will is being done on earth, because nature has to take its course. All right. Yep. Beautiful. At the water to you Akim on the comment board, Quara, Kabal. That's beautiful on GMS Spiritual Temple. 2 with the brother Quara. Shalom to Yak. Yabashmishbakata. It says, and he will send Yahweh Shah, who is the Messiah. All right, Salaki. All right, Acts 3 and 19 through 21. It says, repent then and turn to our power so that he will forgive your sins. If you do, times of spiritual strength will come from the Lord, and he will send Yahweh Shai, who is of the Messiah. He has already chosen for you. Was this in the GNT version? He must remain in heaven until the times come for all things to be made new, as God announced through his holy prophet of long time ago. But where's he making things new at? In earth. Everything is already afresh in the heavens, man. So we got to pay strict attention to the natural. We can't just jump past the natural and the earth like that. The kingdom of heaven is coming down to earth. The kingdom of heaven is going to introduce the natural way of things, man. All right. Which we're going to get into that, right? Which are the physics. All right. The physics of nature. It's going to explain all these things that I'm saying. Then I'm going to bring the precepts out, the compound on what the physics of the nature is. Get ready to lock that in. All right. So the Lord will is going to be physically done. All right. Which the physical transform to that which is a physics or the natural way, which in the word physics is going to say what his will is going to be done. It's going to say physical. All right. Which physics is the shorter term for physical. All right. So it says, let's get back to that 15, because I wanted to jump this off. That 1 Corinthians 15 and back. We're gonna read down and why the Lord honed in on it. We're gonna stop at 49. But go ahead.
It is 1 Corinthians 15, verse 47.
Yeah.
The first man is of the earth, earthy.
Yeah.
The second man is of the Lord from heaven.
Right. So that's why Paul say, look, but is that which is first natural? Because you gotta, as some way, if you just thinking of it in the spiritual terminology, brother, you gotta be able to see the things naturally, or be of the things natural to even access the spirit in any kind of way.
That's the process.
That's the process. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 48. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy.
Yup.
And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
Well, last I checked, we was in the earth, right? So we earthy right now. Yeah, we got the spirit of the Lord. Oh, that's why the Lord has to give us the Rakakwadash, or the spirit, to help us in the earthy man, right? Because our second man of our spirit is after the spirit. So our second man is helping our first man, because our first man has to merge with the second, or the second has to merge with the first, ultimately. So the the second, which is the spirit, has to always come back to the first man, which is the earth, is of the nature. All right, which gonna further expound on the physics of, we have to pretty much pay attention to the nature. All right, the physics gonna show that. All right, go ahead.
Verse 49. And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly.
Right. So as we're carrying the image of the earthly, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly, which the image of the heavenly is going to just come, on the earthly man. All right. So really, the spirit is carrying the earthly man right now. But once nature takes its course, it's really, I won't say there's never no need for the spirit, because that would be absurd and asinine. But ultimately, once the spirit takes its course after the earthly man, it's pretty much done. The Lord will is done to a degree in which he have said it will be done, right? Of the physical, right? Now let's get that word physics, and we about to go in. This where it get juicy at right here, all right? Come on. All right, let's deal with it. All right. Get that first, yeah. Well, it should have physics, not get the S off. All right. Yeah, let's get that right down. This way is about to get juicy at right here. All right. Now I'm gonna start bringing the precepts. I know that opening monologue was kind of long, but I just wanted to explain it so we could get a thorough understanding on pretty much why the gist of the lesson. You see that? But go ahead, brother.
This physics and the online etymology. Okay. Natural science.
No.
What is that?
Yeah, it's up here.
Okay.
Healing, you got to read from the top.
What's that? Physite. A healing potion.
Yeah.
Okay. Natural science.
Yeah. It says a healing portion. Okay. Which the nature of things, as you see right now, it needs a healing portion, right? So a healing portion, as it's going to say down, is going to say medicine. All right. But the healing portion, when you get into the physics of why the Lord is actually doing this in his will, all right, to what he's doing to the nature of bringing the original course of things back, it needs a healing portion. So we're in a transitioning stage of basically the earth being healed. Not only that, I'm also honing in on our nature, and the flesh has a healing portion, or a process, which I read in nature. You see? Go ahead.
Helpful regimen.
Right. So there's a helpful regimen being put in place. Now, when you get into natural science, all right, science means to know. So the natural way, matter of fact, get natural. I got physics right here. Get the word natural. All right. That's beautiful that this came back up. Natural, right? Because I've been honing in on nature, but let's see what natural say. Go ahead. That's what I needed to do.
It's like 3 different.
Yeah, it's different ones. Hold on, let me see.
A nature, a natural.
Natural. I want natural. Hold on. Go ahead.
Of one's inborn character.
All right. Of one's inborn character. So once the Lord is introducing nature back into the flesh, it's something going to be of one's inborn character. But our inborn character is known after the laws. When he first created Adam, right? He created Adam upright, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now when things go back to its original course of place, as well as, which I'm gonna get into that as well, back with the animals, the earth, the land Sabbath, you know, the different things, the air, all these things is gonna take its inborn character, all right, or the characteristics of it. Go ahead. Hereditary, right? So the things that hereditary is just back to the ways in which it was created, or the character of it. Go ahead. Innate, yep, go ahead.
By birth or as if by birth.
Yep, by birth or as if by birth. So the way it was born or the way it was created and made, go ahead.
Of the world of nature.
Of the world of nature. So the nature that we're in has a natural way or a natural use. All right, go ahead.
Okay, for both natural and nature.
Keep going down. Read underneath the next underneath the paragraph. Underneath the yeah, right here. Right there. Of events.
Okay. Of events,
features.
Existing in nature as a result of natural forces.
Yup. As a result of natural forces. Go ahead.
That is not caused by human agency or divine intervention.
Yup. That is, read that.
Okay. That is not caused by accident.
Yup.
Human agency or divine intervention.
So now the natural, like it says here, is not caused by accident, human agency, or divine intervention, because something that's in the natural is just kind of normal, or the birth or the state of, right? So it don't need a divine intervention in it. Yeah, it don't need to be intervened with, because it's already in the way it is. All right, it's already set up. That's why the Lord said, my will be done on earth. It's going to have no intervention in it. He's not going to need to divinely intervene, because it's going to be set up in his regular way. Go ahead, bro.
Of properties.
Yep.
Traits.
Yep.
Qualities. Proper. Suitable. Appropriate to character of constitution.
Right. So the character of constitution, let's get this word right here, is the body of something, right? The composition. Now, when the earth was created, it was created with a composition. All right. It says constitution, a body of fundamentally principles or established precedents according to which a state or original organization is acknowledged to be governed. So when you got a constitution, is an organizational, the way is some organized and acknowledge the way that it's supposed to be governed by the way the Lord set it up. You see what I'm saying? It's all so. By nature, things automatically govern itself, right? So now, when you start to look at the natural, the nature things, it automatically governs itself, man. Go ahead, bro.
As native.
As native, all right? Okay? The composition of things is the makeup, the structure, the arrangement, all right? The order arrangement of things, right? It says, the configuration, the framework, or the form, or the design, right? So this is the way, as you see on the tick across the screen, the Lord designed it to be, the natural, okay? The nature of the way. So the nature of the natural man is important, Akim. And it's no passing that up. The Lord ain't just put that there for nothing, okay? Right? The physique, the health, the state of health, the physical condition, all right? The thing that, you know, the natural way of things. It says, let's see if they got anything else in that. I think that should be it. Let's go to back to the physics. So we can hone in on the physical, or which intertwines with the natural or the nature, right? And that's why the thing's gonna be spiritually done. The Lord always speak about it being physically done, because that's the importance here, right? The spirit always gonna supersede the importance of everything. So it don't have to be honed in on. The physical or the nature things has to be honed in on. So now that makes it more important. That's why the Lord will, it says in the Lord will, it has to be physically done. Because there's a more of an importance there to do that overall than the spirit. That's not the Lord undermine the spirit. It's just that this thing needs to have attention to it. You see, go ahead.
What are you gonna start at?
Back in physics.
A healing potion. That's
Right?
the beginning.
No. Go. Look at that. Look at this bullshit. Physics. Look, I don't want to go. I need to get to it. All right, there we go. All right. A healing portion. A helpful regimen. Go ahead.
The art of healing.
Yeah, the art of healing. Go ahead.
Medical science or theory.
Yep. Go ahead.
And from old French, physique, natural science, art. It was the same thing.
Yep. But go ahead. The study of nature. Jump down there.
The study of nature.
Go ahead.
Pertaining to nature.
No, you got the knowledge of nature.
Oh, okay, fine. So like,
You said?
yeah.
Read it.
The knowledge of nature.
So the knowledge of nature. All right. Why is there a knowledge to nature? Now, when you go to Sirach, which I'm gonna get it down the line, right? Because all these things has an art form to it, or different things of that nature, which we gotta basically, I'm gonna basically bring out some precepts, all right, and join to what all these things mean: the nature, the knowledge of nature, the healing regiments, all these particular things, all right, to hone in on why nature is important. All right, go ahead.
Pertaining to nature.
Yep.
To bring forth.
Go ahead.
Produce. Make to grow.
To make to grow. All right, go ahead. Grow.
Plant.
Yep. Tribe.
Yeah, tribe.
So why there's a tribe in nature, right? Because the Lord created a particular tribe or nature of people that goes with nature. All right. As they came along, which are the Israelites, or the tribes, or the descendants of these tribes, the 12 tribes of Jacob, okay, they are by the Lord created them with a physique of physics. All right, go ahead.
Race.
Yep. To be, you could go to be, right? Which who's the be? Exist or grow. Mm-hmm. So now when you look at the physics of things, who that sound like? To exist or to be? The Most High, man. That's why it's important for the physics or the natures of things to collide, all right, with the spirit, all right, to grow into the Lord. So when it says to exist or be, we have to grow into the Lord by the way of nature, man. All right, which the spirit is going to what? Be the mediator to do that. You see? Go ahead, bro.
And the last one, grow.
Right? But jump down. Go to says the meaning of medicine.
Oh, okay. The meaning medicine that acts as a. Oh no, that ain't.
The meaning medicine that acts. Yeah, that ain't.
Yeah,
it's just that's going into like physical thing. All right, let me see. Now go to the word physical for me. Baba Kashaf, physical. And there's a reason why I'm jumping to the two. All right. Go ahead.
Physical. Okay. Medicinal.
Medicinal. So the physical is medicinal or the nature. All right. But anything that carries a medicinal purpose, all right. Anything that read that in the parentheses as it says opposed to surgical.
Medicinal.
Yeah.
Opposed to surgical.
The reason why the physical or the natural, the nature of things is opposed to surgical, because it don't need to be worked on. So now your body being physically made, it don't need to be worked on. The world don't need to be worked on. You see, it don't need no creations to it, because it's a creation in itself, and it being opposed to being surgical. You don't have to get in and work on this. The natural or the normal way of things need no work. It's organized and performed already out of the hand of the Lord. Once it's delivered out of the hand of the Lord, it needs no working to it, man. You see that? Okay. It says, go ahead.
Of nature.
Of nature.
Natural.
Yep.
Study of nature.
All right. The study of nature, which is good. Now let's get into a couple precepts. All right. Which physics or E. All right. So let's get into where he Salakia. Let me just look over this real quick. One more quick thing. I want you to go back. All right, the nature, the science of the principle, operative, and organic nature. All right, things that's organic need not to be said is organic. It's naturally organic. All right, are made that way by default. All right, so let's get into it. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. And then we're going to get that word nature. Now we're going to get in a blue letter with the word nature.
I got it.
All right. 11.
14.
Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 11, verse 14.
Yep.
Doth not even nature itself teach you?
Yep.
That if a man have long hair,
yep,
it is a shame unto him.
Now get the word nature, right? So why had Paul need to put in that, do not nature itself teach you? Because when you get to the cliche of nature itself teaching you, nature don't need to teach you. In other words, right? There's a lot of men get bent out of shape. Well, that was something Paul just was saying. It's not in the law to have long hair, but the things by nature has an automatic setup or arrangement or order to it. All right. So it doesn't need to really teach you, right? Because Jacob, the cliche of saying, oh, that's just second nature. There's no such thing as a second nature, right? It's only one way or nature of things that's already established, man. Okay? So press it. I'm gonna just press it.
Strong's G 5449. Phusis.
Yep.
Phusis.
Yep. Right. So this is the word physics, right? And look at the word nature saying no. It says physics. You see, but that's why I got in the online etymology, and now we're gonna deal with it in the scriptures, which I'm gonna get it in the way of the scriptures. Now let's see what the blue letter says, because now the blue letter is gonna have me get the precepts. You see what I'm saying? That's why I read it in the OE, which is the Edom online, and now I'm gonna read it in the online. In the blue letter, which the word nature means physics. Go ahead.
Nature, the nature of things,
right?
The force, laws, order of nature.
You know why nature has a force to it? Because it forces it to be that way. It has forced itself to be what it is. So by default, it forces us, who is of physics, of natures, to automatically do it. We're not gonna have to work the earth, to cause it to grow. It automatically gonna grow in the kingdom of heaven, right? We're not gonna have to, matter of fact, we're not gonna have to force the laws and orders of nature. We're going to have to force it on the other nation because the Lord made them adverse to the ways of nature, right? So now let's prove that. Give me Jeremiah 31 and 31, right? That's why the Lord is going to physically put his will in the earth, man. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Yep.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
Right. So this day is coming, all right, that he going to make that new covenant with the house of Israel, right? The days are coming. And this is why he said the days are coming, because this is going to happen. Go ahead.
Which my covenant they break. Although I was a husband unto them,
right,
said the Lord.
Right, married by them by nature, right? The Lord is married to us by nature. It says it to exist, to grow into the Lord by nature, right? It said that in the physics. Go ahead, bro.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel.
Yep.
After those days, said the Lord.
After those days, all right, go ahead.
I will put my law in their inward part, and write it in their hearts.
Yep.
And will be their power, and they shall be my people.
So now by nature, we gonna have this in us. So by nature, the Lord ain't gonna have to tell us the law anymore. Really, he can put the law away because it'll be in us, right? But the Lord do it forever. But once it get in us, he don't have to teach it to us no more, right? So that's how you know we still sinning. The law haven't fully taken us over all the way, right? We still what? Rehearsing it. Like we gonna get perfect in it. It's gonna complete us. In other words, once you become completed as the perfect man, then, all right, then the nature of his course will take its place. Now read it again. The nature of things.
Okay, the nature of things, the force, laws, order of nature.
Yep.
As opposed to what is monstrous,
yep,
abnormal, or perverse.
Right. So as opposed to what is monstrous, abnormal, or perverse. Now, didn't the Lord say we are in a perverse world? Right. So now the nature of the world is out of course. All right. Let me get that. He mingled the perverseness.
That was a perfect point too, because the essence of nature is what's going to invite the spirit.
It's going to invite the spirit. And there you go. So once you invite it, the thing, what's more important? That which is by it inviting the spirit. If you make a feast or prepare something, the most important thing is that the people come. The invitation of it, right? So now once the invitation come, right, the feast can be what? Eaten and basically brought to what it was done to do.
Carried out.
It should be carried out or executed. That's a good point. It says Yahweh had mingled a perverse spirit. So now by the Lord mingling a perverse spirit in nature, it has a process that it has to take on. You see? So the Lord technically did this where he could implement his will so we can understand the nature of things. Because if he'd have just let Adam go through with the nature of things, he wouldn't have known the latter part to it, right? That's why he caused the nature of things to come out of his course so we can learn the spirit. We can learn the nature of things through the spirit back to the nature. You see? So the Lord likened his judgment into a ring. He brought one round to the other. All right? It says, and they have caused Egypt to err every work or as a drunken man staggering in the vomit, but the point with the Lord had mingled the perverse things. So now nature is the force of laws, order of a nature, as opposed to what is monstrous, abnormal, or perverse. Now, give me that Romans 2:14. Romans 2:14. Let's deal with that, right? Romans 2:14. Go ahead.
This is Romans 2 verse 14.
Right.
For when the Gentiles, which have not the law,
yep,
do by nature the things contained in the law,
yep,
these having not the law are a law unto themselves.
Right, because they nature to themselves. Now the Gentiles we're speaking right here right? The Gentiles of the other nations, they can't have the law. They like the physics of the nature in which the Lord created, he didn't make them according to that, right? He made the children of Israel according to it. So now you know that these Gentiles are speaking about what? Israelites, right? It says that do by nature the things why it says that do by nature the things contained in the law, because they are of the physics of nature. That's why they do the things by nature that they don't even know they're doing. You got even Jakes today that don't know the law like we know the law, and they do some of it. You see, because nature itself takes its course with them, which are Israelites by default. They don't do all of them because they haven't been taught the rest. That's why when the laws is in the inward parts, they're gonna be taught the rest. You see, but that's what has to happen to them on this upcoming thing. The laws have to be put in their inward part as well as ours. We can't get the laws in our inward part totally here. We have to be transformed into it, right? So nature have to take its course on us as well. That's why he said in the kingdom, all my people shall be righteous. And this how we know nature gonna have to have taken this full course on the Israelite man. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 15.
Nah, that's it.
Okay.
Well, nah, it has more, but it says do by nature the things contained in the law. Get that where it says do by nature the things contained in the law. We're gonna come back to that First Corinthians. I just got that First Corinthians to start us off with the word nature. To go back to the word physics.
You want me to get the nature?
The word nature. Yeah, right there. Let's see what it says. Romans 2 and 4.
The same one.
It's the same one. Good. Good. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see, that it was the same one. So you could just stay on that one, right? All right. Which is the same one, right? So it says, now read 15.
Verse 15.
Yep.
Which showed the work of the law written in their hearts.
So it showed the work of the law written in their hearts, right? Which again, they kind of doing it by accident, which nature doesn't happen by accident. It's created in a form. So when it do show the work of the law created in their hearts, all right, go ahead.
The conscience also bearing witness.
Your conscience is your spirit. That's the physics of things, man. You see, you can't go around this, man. Go ahead.
And the thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another.
Right. So when now they conflicting their thoughts, which, like it says, accusing or excusing one another. So now your thoughts is in a kind of somewhere in the betwixt, all right, which cause them to still linger in it, or still do the things that's in their heart. They'll do it by accident, but still do the wicked part too, right?
Because the flesh is weak, but the spirit
is willing, right? So now one is excusing the other, in other words. That's why Paul said the thing that I would do, but that I would not. Because your conscience kind of is telling your spirit, which is your spirit, all right? You know, you know what? I'm gonna try to get that in the let me see something real quick. I'm gonna just make a Bible comparison with that. Right? NLT. It says they demonstrate that God's law is in their hearts for their own conscience and thoughts, either accuse them or tell them that they're doing right. And that's why we always say Jake know the shit right, man. You know, or wrong, right? But the confusion in their hearts, because the Lord haven't given them the total you know, the spirit, which that's what they're missing. They're missing the spirit, all right, of the nature in which they're doing particular things, which give them the conclusion of the matter. Now we don't be conflicting in our thoughts. That's the only difference. That's why we able to understand and teach it this way now. And we know our people, right? It says to tell them that they're doing right. Now, why it showed that they do it by nature, and some is telling them in their mind they're doing right, but they still do wrong. You see? You see? It's by default that way. Now let's get back into it. There you go, nature. It all's coming back to nature, the natural. Go back to let's get some more breakdown on the word nature. Go to the next one, A2.
Where you want me to go at?
The A2.
Oh,
Just as opposed, I was dealing with the what is monstrous, abnormal, or perverse,
mhm.
right? Which that's a show of perverseness in them because the law is not total, it haven't totally taken nature haven't totally taken the total amount of the Israelites as a whole, it hasn't taken complete control over them, right? But they still doing some of the things by nature, right? Go ahead.
Okay, as opposed what has been produced by the art of man.
Right. So what has been produced by the art of man is something man has produced unto him, right? Go ahead.
The natural branches.
The natural branches. Now let's deal with that. Give me Romans 11 and 14. Read that. The natural branches. Finish reading it first.
By the operation of nature.
By the operation, the branches by the operation of nature. Now let's deal with that. That's Romans First Corinthians, Romans 11 and 24.
Okay, yeah, I'm right.
Go ahead.
Romans 11 verse 24.
Then let me do this. I'm gonna read at the top. This Romans 11 and 1, so you get an overtone on what I just explained. All right, the branches that what? Say that again.
The branches by the operation of nature.
By the operation of nature, right? Now, branches come by the operation of nature, which a tree has a root. All right, which when you get into it and start to understand who the operation of these branches are what the tree is. In other words, all right, it says Romans 2 and 1. It says Salakia. Romans 11 and 1. I say, then had God cast away his people, which are his branches. God forbid, for I am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. So the Lord never cast away this. All right. I wanted to start that off so you understand who this chapter is completely talking about. Go ahead, brother.
Let me go to 24.
Yeah.
Okay, Romans 11 verse 24. For if thou wert cut off of the olive tree, which is wild by nature.
So it's wild by nature. All right. So what the Lord by nature had us go off, man. You see that? Because nature don't go off, right? So now let's start to understand that that's wild by nature. We went off, all right? Because the natural way of the law don't cause us to go off. But we went off by the eating of the good of evil, the tree of life. It caused us to get wild, all right? To go in the wild. That's just like an animal. We got the dog in the house. If he go outside, he gonna get wild. He gonna lose his constitution of things that he once had, right? Go ahead.
And were grasped contrary to nature.
Yep.
Into a good olive tree.
Yep. Go ahead.
How much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree?
Exactly. How much more that those that have got wild still be grafted into their own olive tree, which you once you in your tree, you in your tree. You could get wild in it, but you still in your tree. All right. And we're grafted contrary to nature, right? So because they still came in, or they still by nature was grafted contrary to it, or they was, going off, or or whatever. All right, into a good olive tree, because they still in that good tree, that good stock. All right. How much more shall these, which be natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree as well, man? All right. So you can't ignore, like people ignore this misery, but it's the natural way. Let me get this. I'm gonna get something in there real quick. Salakia. The olive tree, which is wild. Salakia, bro. And you go into that word natural, it's the same thing. Which be the natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree. All right. Because the Lord able to bring them back in. Because you know why our people gonna all be righteous back again? Because the Lord graft them back in Because to come back into something, meaning you was already what?
Yeah.
You was already there, a part of it.
Mhm.
All right. So this is the understanding of the mystery in which Paul was speaking about the wild tree. All right, which is the stock, which all of the branches, we all of the branches of Yahushua, all Israelites. All right, all our people.
In the first verse you read to start it off.
To start it off. All right. There you go. God forbid. Right now, let's go back to nature and read the next thing. All right.
B right. We read
yeah
too.
Yeah. Go to B now. Yeah, B.
Birth, physical origin.
Now we read physical, right? When in the OE, but it says what? The birth, right? The origin or the physical. It says the birth or the origin. Now give me Wisdom of Solomon 7:3. Wisdom of Solomon 7:3. And showing you all the things of how the physical or the nature is. All these things are of grave importance. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 7 verse 3.
You can start at 1.
Okay, verse 1. I myself also am a mortal man.
We up of nature. Go ahead.
Like to all.
Of nature. Nature is to all.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't have an origin of nature to it? Nothing. Like, I mean, nothing, everything. Yeah, nothing doesn't have the nature of the origin in which the Lord set it up. Go ahead.
And the offspring of him that was first made of the earth.
Right. So every man gets the same offspring. Go ahead.
And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep.
Go ahead. That's regular. Go ahead. This the point.
And when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature.
Which is of what?
Like nature.
Go ahead.
And the first voice which I uttered was crying as all others do.
So what he did was of like nature, meaning this is the only way this can happen, right? So when somebody born, we know by default, this is the way it normally happens. Now, do we show in the hand of the Lord, and can the Lord do it or not? Yes, he can. We don't say that. All right, but the Lord is not the author of confusion. So when a man comes to us, hey, well, I just popped up here, or the Big Bang Theory, it just popped up. There's no way. It got to have a nature or birth to it. So nature or the natural way has an origin or birth to it, a form. You see that? Right? Go to read 5.
Wisdom of Solomon 7 verse 5. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. So
if a man had the natural way of being coming in this way, how much more the natural way is organic to the way things are basically carried out? You see what I'm saying? Right? Read the next one.
For all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out.
Right. So that's the natural way to live, and then what? Die. It's of the natural. But the Lord can have it to where you don't die. Because Elisha was taken up by a whirlwind. He didn't die, right? So now when you start to intervene or intertwine with the Lord, we know that the Lord has power over these things because he created, right? He supersedes nature, right? But we still know he still have his will, in which nature is there, and it has a what? It has a importance or significance to it. Go ahead, bro.
You want me to go to 7?
Nah. Go back to we was dealing with the birth and the origin. All right, go ahead.
The birth, physical origin.
Yeah, go ahead.
A mode of feeling and acting which by long habit has become nature.
Right. So a mode of feeling and acting which by long habit becomes nature. So as we live and keep going through this mode and these feelings, we're going to become nature. You see, it's going, once the laws and different things come to our part, we're going to become nature itself. We're going to become natural to the Lord in the physical by the way of the spiritual. All right. Nature going to take its course. Eventually, nature going to take its course. It don't matter how much each screw earth up. This all about how the Lord is going to make nature round itself off, man. No matter what, nature has to go back to nature. All right. It was created that way. Go ahead. Which, you know what? Let's get some precepts for that. Right. This is I want you to get something particular. Let me look right. All right. Which, you know, some I'm gonna get this because I want you to get to the beast. All right. I mean, yeah, I want you to get to the beast, but I'm gonna show you before the physical beast. We're talking about the man of beast. So read that part again.
A mode of feeling and acting which by long habit has become nature.
Right. So this Psalm 73 and 22. Now, since we've been in the flesh, right, or we were speaking about those men, it says, so foolish. I might read 21. Let me see something. Because it by Salaki, I won't get 21. Yo, I want to see what he say. I'm being pricked in his range. All right, go ahead. It says, so foolish was I and ignorant, I was a beast before thee, right? So when you go into that, him being a beast before thee is something that was a mode of feeling and acting which by long time habits become nature. So we by nature was of a beast because we went away from the natural way when we start sinning, going off, right, by the beast. All right, now that's a man being a beast. That's why the Lord called them natural brute beasts. You see, as certain men become natural brute beasts. Now you can understand they took on the nature. It becomes their nature. Not that it was a natural way, it just becomes their nature. So 2/3 of our people, by long habit, become natural brute beasts. The natural, the nature of the way. Go ahead.
The sum of innate properties and powers by which one person differs from others.
Right. So the sum of innate properties, which what? My bad. Which one person
different from others.
Different from others. Go ahead.
Distinctive native peculiarities.
Right. So we got distinctive native peculiarities. By nature, certain people. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get to it. I don't want to pass that part up. It says distinctive nature peculiarities. Now, when you start to get into the distinctiveness in which he created Israel and the peculiarities, which get that when he says they are a peculiar people, is in Peter. All right.
That also go back to what we brought out with the what it was, the conscience.
The conscience. Yeah, yep. Ban and witness. All right. This 1 Peter 2:9. It says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, right? And a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him by nature who had called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So that makes us a distinctive, read it again, a distinctive
native peculiarity.
Right, a distinctive native peculiarity. By nature, we are peculiar and distinctive. All right. He said, when I created Israel, I made their ways. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, see, distinctive, so different.
Different. Right. This is Ecclesiastes 33 and 1. It says, 33 and 10. It says all men are of the ground and Adam was created from earth. Now, when he spoke of all men, he just said all men, but he said Adam was created of the earth, of nature, right? And much knowledge the Lord had divided them and made their ways diverse. So he put a distinct nature in them to where these men out of the world is going to be distinctively peculiar, man. All right, which are the Israelites, these people, man. All right, go ahead.
Natural characteristics.
Natural characteristics. All right. So when the Lord created, he put let me get that. It's Deuteronomy. Shit, it's Deuteronomy. That kind of slipped my mind. He put Israel into himself. All right, when he kind of, to make them peculiar, like he kept them unto himself. I just paraphrase it because my mind jumping around. Like it's a Deuteronomy. Rob, Baba Gashab, brother, if you on there, put up there in Deuteronomy when it says the Lord kind of he put Israel into himself. Salakia, bro. Damn. It could just slip my mind. I just wanted to get it to make a point. But go ahead.
The natural strength.
Yeah.
Ferocity.
Right. So now when you get into the natural characteristics of Israelites, we honing in on the air. Eventually, nature has to take its course. You goddamn devil. And when nature take its course, we have the physics of nature, which we're gonna be in the spirit of the Lord, and that's how we're gonna become what? In the image of gods. You see that? You see? So now, and then the natural characteristics of these people gonna take its course. Now, the natural strength, right? Now we're gonna deal with the natural strength, right? Which is Deuteronomy. Give me Deuteronomy 34:7. So let's look at the natural strength of ourselves. This is why the natural is important, and we can't just bypass it. Go ahead.
Which one? What do you ask?
Deuteronomy 34:7.
Okay. This Deuteronomy 34 verse 7.
Yep.
And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated.
So his natural force was abated, meaning he didn't lose none of his strength. Usually when you get old, we're gonna have all our strength, as the scriptures say in Isaiah, that they shall mount up like eagles and fly and run and not get weary. You know what I'm saying? And basically not get tired or get weak. So we're gonna be in our strength forever, right? We're gonna be our force. We're gonna have natural force in us, man. You see that? So we're gonna have the force of David, that the Lord made his hands to war. Remember when he killed tens of thousands? We're going to keep that force on us. That's why when we get in our immortality or our strength, we're going to what? Remain in it. You see? We're not going to lose it. It's going to be a natural characteristic of being what? Enjoined in the spirit by nature, man. Automatically, right? This is real quick. Sirach. Maybe Salaki, bro. All right, we're gonna end it all with them that natural characteristics, because I'm gonna read down. I'm gonna get you to show you how we gonna go back into the natural form or the elemental ways. Now, go read the rest of that, because it should get into the bottom part of the beast. That's what I want to get into, the beast. Go ahead.
Ferocity and intractability of beast.
Right. So intractability of beast. Hold your hand on the word intractability. Hold it. Press look up. Now, what it says?
Control.
Hard to what?
Control.
Or what?
Deal with.
So the beast is what? Hard to control or deal with right now, right? So the beast has what? They have changed their places, right? Give me 2nd Esdras 5 and 8. Now let's prove that the beast is out of his nature, right? As in all things, so the beast gonna come back to his nature. 2nd Esdras 5 and 8.
There should be a confusion also in many places. And the fire should be off sent out again.
Yep.
And the wild beasts shall change their places.
Yep.
And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
So the wild beasts have changed their places, right? Because a beast belong in his nature. What did he say, man? He need to be in his nature. And a lot of the reason why he changed his nature, cause what? He cut the grass down, right? He hunt them. He do different, certain things which cause them to what? Have to move from their habitat. or their regular nature or way of things. And that's why they're what? Aggressive, right? That's why they attack us, right? Also, our natural spirit and characteristics is not on us as well, which brings me to, give me Genesis 9:1.
Genesis 9, verse 1. And the Most High blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And fear of you and the dread of you, and the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth.
Say that again.
The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth.
Right, because by the beasts changing their places, right, they lost the fear of us because that was a curse unto us as well. And that's another thing we get in the natural. The natural way of things cause the curses to leave off us because that's abnormal, right? As we read, that's not the that's an abnormal way.
Because by nature, the wages of sin is death.
Is debt. But if we not sinning, then that's no debt. That's why we say that as well. Or however the Lord have it set up. Go ahead.
And upon every fowl of the air,
Yep.
upon all that moveth upon the earth,
Yep.
and upon all the fishes of the sea, into your hand are they delivered.
Into their hand, meaning we're gonna have the dominion over them. All right. So the fear of the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth. Now the beast not going to attack us, you know, they're gonna what? They're gonna be in league with us. Give me Isaiah 11:8.
This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 8. And the second child shall play on the whole.
No, Job 5:23.
Okay. Job 5, verse 23. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field,
Right.
and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with
So the beast gonna be at peace with us, man. All right. And now keep reading one more down, which you just said this.
And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace.
Right.
And
Which our tabernacle start with our house, which is our bodily house, our nature. Because if the house just in peace, let's just say we leave out the house and the house just in peace, it don't really make sense. You know, like say the house we in, we all is just in peace. Like how we explain that? So now the tabernacle being in peace, meaning what? Our physical nature of our houses, our abodes and bodies. Go ahead.
And thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin.
Right. So what can sin? Can the house sin?
No, so it's not talking about that.
It's your nature or your body, your flesh. It's gonna have the natural way on it, which gonna cause it not to off or go off. All right. But you can read 25, might as well.
Thou shalt know, verse 25, thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thy offspring as the grass of the earth.
Which is the fruit of your body, right?
Bring that out, no.
Yep. Where you at? Now go to the other one. What was it? Isaiah 11:8.
Yeah. Go back to it.
All right. Really, you could start at 5.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 5. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins.
Yep.
And faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
Yep. Go ahead.
The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid.
Yep. So they could play our children. The leopard ain't gonna eat it right now. If you know my daughter, you know my daughter, you know, or whatever. If we go try to play with the leopard or the tiger, we see it's gonna kill us, right? Or it's gonna maul us. Go ahead.
And the calf and the young lion and the fatling together.
Yep. Go ahead.
And the little child shall lead them.
Yep. The little child, so the baby's gonna be up, they ain't gonna even, they're gonna defend the dread, gonna be up on us. We're gonna have the dominion. All right. Nature gonna have eventually take its course. And what this devil gonna do when nature take its course? Because nature applies to us, man. It's saying it in this is the physics of nature, man. Go ahead, bro.
And the cow and the bear shall feed, Yet their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox.
Right now, what the lion eat? Other animals. You know, the really just kill, you know, he don't, you know,
Carnivore.
yeah, he'll call, yeah, go ahead.
And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass,
Yep.
and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockroaches.
Then go put his hand in the mouth, you know, in the mouth of the, you know, or whatever. Now go.
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountains.
So now the beast, now go back to the nature. So we can understand the beast gonna be in league with us, brother. Go ahead. Read it again. And the
Intractability.
and the intractability of what?
Beast.
Right. So what's the intractability is what again?
It's a hard to control or deal with.
Hard to control or deal with. Which the scripture said we're gonna be able to deal with that. So everything gonna take its course. Even the earth gonna come back to its course, which I didn't really get into. Obviously, earth is that's kind of it's simple, but I should have probably, you know, loaded some precepts up for that as well. Nature taking its course and going into really when the earth takes its course, the air, water, that's all of it, you know, and you know, in a sense, right? Eaten shall be eaten again, right? All right, go ahead.
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountains.
They shall not hurt or destroy. Yep, go ahead.
For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord.
Which in nature it says the what? The knowledge of knowing. Remember, it says the understanding and knowledge of nature, of knowing. This is the earth is full what we're gonna know the way the Lord knows things, man. All right. Which cause us to be inhabited with nature. All right, we're gonna inhabit nature in the flesh, man. Go ahead, bro.
As the waters cover the sea.
All right, beautiful. Now, that pretty much was it. All right, that pretty much was it. Now, honed in on a point, because I really was gonna get into the Sirach. Go to it, bro. I just see if they got some good points in it. But I think the point is made, you know, or when it says, I think it's maybe 17. Yeah, 17 and like 5. All right. Yeah, I just want to show that it, you know, pretty much. And this is just the nature of things coming into its course. All right. Just start. Could we just say about the beast? Just start at 4.
This is Ecclesiasticus 7.
Start at 3.
Verse 3. He endured them with strength by them.
You know what? Start at 1, because this was the meat of the matter that nature has to take its course again, right? So start at 1.
Okay, this is verse 1, chapter Sirach 17. The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again.
Yeah. Now, it says the Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again. What do you mean? All right. We're gonna be tuned in with earth. Earth gonna be medicinal. It's gonna be a healing portion for us. So if the earth constantly heals us and we in immortality, our body is healed with the spirit and the physical, brother, we gotta just keep existing then. That's why it says kingdom shall be what? Forever and ever and ever. Because earth gonna be one with us. So nature, earth, and the elements of earth, which makes up nature, all right, in itself, we're gonna be one with it, man. Go ahead, brother.
He gave them few days and a short time, and power also over it's stopping right here.
Power also over the things therein. All right. So when you know we had a power in it, but the few days we have now is because what? Once you know we created earth and turned it into it again, in the earth, we lost our nature somewhat, all right, which bring us few days in a short time, all right, and the power over the things therein, which at time Noah had power over the animals, and then we lost it, you know. So some certain things we lost, right, that we had, all right. But go ahead.
He endued them with strength by themselves,
right?
and made them according to his image.
So when we was made according to his image and we was endured with strength, right? We lost the spirit of him by way, right? And when we had these things, he gonna say it. Go ahead.
And put the fear of man upon all flesh,
Yep.
and gave him dominion over beasts.
So we don't have that no more, right? Because his spirit is not dwelling with us like that from the beginning, right?
The intractability.
Right? The intractability of the beast, which now we can't control them. So now we know this was what? Compromised in a way, but go ahead.
They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord.
Yep.
And in the 6th place, he imparted them understanding.
Yep.
And in the 7th speech,
yep,
an interpreter of the cogitations thereof.
Right. So when things was natural, the natural way, right? This is speaking of the natural way or the normal way of things. Go ahead. Now the people interpretation and cogitations are off, man. That's why I say they are lowering their part, excels, excusing one another. Remember when they show themselves as being alone themselves, meaning the 2/3, their conscience is bear witness against them. Go ahead.
Counsel and the tongue and eyes, ears, and the heart gave he them to understand.
When it was the natural way. So eventually we going back to this, right? Go ahead.
Withal he filled them with the knowledge of understanding.
To know the natural way. Really to know the natural way of things, that's the knowledge of understanding. That's the foundation. That's the basis, fundamentals of things. So when you get the milk of the scriptures, that's the natural way of the scriptures. That's the normal way. When you start to know the milk, if the natural way of the scriptures, right, all things gonna be fulfilled unto you from there, because everything starts from a nature of things, which is the normal way of things, right? Then the things that are revealed in secrets, the deeper things, nature took its course on that in the scriptures to help you know that it starts from nature. Like these are the natural way of things. So now the secret being revealed, we understand them because of the natural or the normal way, right? And that's how things get deep. That's why, like, don't seek out things too high. Look at the milk, and the foundation of things always is the fundamental way of things always lead to the deep things, right? The things we don't understand, in other words, right? That is the pathway to it, the natural way of it. Go ahead.
And showed them good and evil.
Right. So now he showed them good and evil, right? But then we had to choose. But go ahead.
He set his eye upon their heart.
Yep.
That he might show them the greatness of his works.
So to set is show him the greatness of his works, to put his law, to stain it in our inward part. That's the marvelous work. That's the end all of nature, right? To bring nature to us, man. Because nature has to take its course. So technically, nature is going to come to us by default, bro. Go ahead.
He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever.
Yep.
That they might declare his works with understanding.
There you go. To get back to nature. To declare his works with understanding is a good ending to it. Meaning what? To go back to nature. That's why his will is going to be done what? On earth as it is in heaven. The way of nature. All right. And then we're going to have that longevity on earth. All right. It says, send us out with that.
Yeah.
Man, we go, no. Man, just read down. And the elect.
Yeah. Sirach 17, verse 10. And the elect shall praise his holy name.
Which we doing now. But nature haven't taken this course, right? So we praising his holy name. And that's why when nature do take course, those men are going to be lifted up in nature.
It had to have a beginning.
It had to have a beginning, right? It got to start again. Go ahead.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge and a law of life for inheritance.
Right.
He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgment.
So he made everlasting nature with us, man. And a covenant we got a contract with nature, which by default entwines us with the physics of nature, which entwines us into him, which we're inside his name, Yahweh, right? Which we gonna be like him. We're invited to be of nature, which ultimately be what is of him, because everything is naturally through him and by him. Go ahead.
Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard his glorious voice.
That's it. And by nature, okay, we're going to what? Lock in with that and going to be tied to that forever, man. So yes, you can't over or bypass the natural man. And this is why Paul speak of it different, you know, because it has an importance to it. You don't just supersede that and pass by it. We know the spirit is greater than the natural. We know that. We understand that. But we have to understand the natural to get back to the physical, the spiritual, man. So that was pretty much the point, you know, Lord willing, it was edifying. And to the point, you know, it went where it went, you know, but Lord willing, that can tie the loose end and bridge the gap between the natural and the physical. So Abba Ratazada was edifying, man. At the water for you brothers that come on the comment board, want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. The honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akams that pushing the truth and sincerity. To the next time, we'll see Shalom.
Shalom.
A Baba Ball.
Ball.